from my song Manipulation. They're told that they're free and independent. Wave their flag, say the pledge, and stand at attention. Encouraged to hate all dissension. With blind faith they're led to their fall. Oh, my gullible friends. Listen to what Trump actually says. The lies, the bragging on things he never did or accomplished. He fails to think or plan before he acts, like starting a war with Iran. They were no threat, but they are now. He's just not creative or curious. He's only interested in calling others names, finding fault. He's a shallow man, far too shallow to be our president, far too shallow to be our president. The harm he's done to our relationships with our long-time and dependable allies and our neighbors. Canada. With Canada, the best friend this country has ever had. The harm he's done to our industry, to our farmers. The harm he has done to our farmers, all over those tariffs that he still to this day, he does not understand how a tariff functions, how it works. And he comes right out and tells you. He claims that other countries pay us because he puts a tariff on things. No, they don't. Why would they? China didn't start paying us. They simply, instead of sending as much goods to us as we had been taking, they developed other markets, started sending it to them, and they cut off the markets that our farmers had worked for years to develop. Just cut them off. And our farmers are losing farms over it. That's what Trump did. That's what Trump did. And by the way, he wasn't legally, according to our Constitution and our laws, he couldn't just arbitrarily make those tariffs, declare those tariffs. That's a function of Congress. And the reason we want Congress to do it is because the House of Representatives gets voted in every 2 years. That makes them very responsive to their constituents if their constituents will pay attention to what's going on and vote, making sure that their representatives are representing them, not towing the line for Trump. You know, all red states are struggling, and all have had Republicans in charge for decades. That doesn't tell you something? I am just quoting facts here. And you can get your own facts. Go to the library. Go online. Go online to something like DuckDuckGo that doesn't give you what they think you want. Pull up sites like the government's, Labor Statistics, Bureau of Labor Statistics. Take a look at those. Take a look at those over the decades. Since Reagan, it's been a lie that the Republicans were fiscally responsible. They have not been. What they've been is giving more and more to the top 1 or 2% of our society. Yeah. They've gotten that rich because the government has, well, honestly, our government's taken bribes and changed laws so that they don't pay the kind of taxes that the rest of us pay. And they get away with things that they shouldn't get away with. I mean, that banking fiasco back in 2008, that happened because they relaxed the laws that held the banks in line. The banks took advantage of it, and some of them made a lot of money by crashing the whole system. Republicans, they don't have the courage to put a stop to Trump. Just now they're finally finding a little bit of courage when he's talking about giving $1,776,000,000 to people who attacked our Capitol, who harmed our Capitol policemen. They claim that they're law and order. That wasn't law and order. And he just arbitrarily pardoned all of them? No. Presidents don't pardon like that. They have a committee study each person that gets pardoned to determine if they should be pardoned or not. And none of those people should have been pardoned. A number of them have gone out and committed more crimes, serious crimes, crimes against people like members of your family. Yeah, that's what Trump did. I'm just telling you what's happened. What's the truth? If he was good for our country, I'd be for him. But he isn't. He was never good at business. He's never been anything but a spoiled brat. He was a coward when it came time to be drafted. He had his daddy buy his way out of the draft. And if you're buying his bullshit story about how he got out of the draft, then you really are gullible. I mean, you really are gullible. I got drafted in '72. I remember marching and marching and marching and marching and marching, because that's when they were trying to prepare us to go to Vietnam. We marched and marched, and we went through the damn jungle-like areas there in South Carolina. Hot. Yeah, we got shin splints. We got stone bruises on our feet. You know what they did about that? They had us keep marching. I remember it made my inside of my leg start cramping so bad that I was limping a bit. That was early on, like the first week of basic training. A DI comes running up to me. What's wrong, Usry? I got a bad cramp, Drill Sergeant. Well, drop out. Now, this is 250 men marching everywhere, down roads, over hills, through these great big areas, fields. So I drop out, like he said, and I'm thinking, wow, guys are going to be nice to me? But no. Then he starts screaming at me. Run in place. Pick those legs up. Get them up higher. And oh yeah, I had to be holding that M16 up here while I'm doing all that. Get them up higher. Get them up higher. That makes it feel better, doesn't it? Now start running around the formation while we march. I ran around the formation while the formation marched forward. And I did it for a while. That's what was done when we got stone bruises. God. He's an idiot to think that anybody that's ever been in the Army would buy his story. Oh, and by the way, I'm flat-footed, very flat-footed. Yeah, it caused me to have serious cramps. It makes a difference. Didn't keep me out of the draft. Oh yeah, my year was the first year we didn't have college deferments. I actually was. After my first year of college, I actually was on the dean's list. Sure was. But then I loved school. I mean, I loved it. I was a physics major at that point. I had my math going pretty damn good. Well enough that the Army, after they tested me, after they drafted me and tested me, they put me through a 7-month school on the Nike Herc missile, the electronic guidance systems. 7 months after I did basic. And then they sent me. 2-year guys didn't go through that school, but I went through it. I just did what I was told because I was a draftee. I didn't get any choices. But that was a good assignment for me. I worked on missiles associated with NATO over in West Germany, down in the southern part of the country. It was a good assignment for me, and I'm glad I had it. I'm glad I had the experience, but I certainly didn't feel that way when I got drafted. But I didn't run to my daddy and ask him to get me out of it. I sucked it up and went, because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do if you're going to be a citizen of a country. You're supposed to follow the laws of that country because you enjoy the protection of those laws. So you've got to do that. But Trump doesn't have to do it. Shit. Stop being gullible. Stop listening to Fox News and things like Newsmax and now CBS. They're all being bought off. They're trying their best to make it a state-run news. Hey, that's what they do in North Korea. And Russia still, to a large degree, but North Korea, my God. Freedom is not free. You gotta be an informed voter. You can't just listen. You can't sit there and watch that stuff because those people on Fox lie or slant the news. Right now, the crazy shit that Trump is doing, like with that Iran thing. He didn't plan that. He didn't think through that. And if he had simply asked the folks over in the military, and he had them right there, you know, he's got the Joint Chiefs right there with him, but he didn't ask them. They would have told him, no, that's not a good idea. We don't have an effective way to keep them from shutting down the Strait of Hormuz. Duh. But he didn't ask. He just reacted. Knee-jerk reaction. And that's all he is. All he's ever been. Think about it. He was never successful as a businessman. He was just knee-jerk reactions. Knee-jerk reactions. Well, I'm hoping that we're going to get out of this thing with Trump before he defaces everything in Washington. That's our White House he tore down without permission. That's our White House he's trying to build that gaudy-ass dance hall. A goddamn dance hall by the White House. A goddamn dance hall beside the White House. Are you shitting me? You know, Christ Almighty, red states are struggling, and they've been represented by Republicans for decades now. What does that tell you? And oh, by the way, those Republicans don't have the courage to stand up against Trump. The ones that did are no longer in office. How about that? That's what dictators do. That's what dictators do, my friends. Read some history. Understand what's going on. If he has his way, our Constitution will not be in effect anymore. Our Supreme Court will only be something to agree with him, whatever he wants. Our Congress, who is charged to keep the executive in line, won't do it. Not unless we vote the people into Congress who will. Now, there are people, and right now, they're mostly Democrats who will get him back in line. Honestly to God, we ought not to let political parties run anybody for president. Presidents should be totally independent. The political parties ought to be in Congress, and they ought to sit there watching over the executive, which is what the Constitution was written to do. Watch over the executive branch so that they don't run amok and destroy our democracy. Well, enough of that. I don't need to lecture you guys. I don't mean to lecture you guys. But it's downright demoralizing. It's downright demoralizing when I see sometimes, when I hear what folks like on Fox and now CBS, what they're doing, all because they just don't allow truth. They don't. And if there's anything even slightly true that doesn't agree with being a far-right Trumpian thing, then they slant it. But they outright lie. And you know they do outright lie. Remember when all those folks from Fox were brought into court over that suit and under oath asked questions? And every one of them, Hannity, the whole bunch, admitted that they'd been lying and pushing it off as the truth. Yeah, they had to, because they were under oath. You can go to jail when you're in court and you lie. It's called perjury. You perjure yourself, you get to go spend some time in jail. Well, I wish everyone well. I hope you farmers who are in so much trouble, I hope we can find a way out. I hope you can find a way out for yourself. I know things are hard for the majority of Americans now. They shouldn't be. this should be the wealthiest country in the world. And it was. Back when we had real leadership. Back when our leadership followed the Constitution. During the years that we followed the Constitution, we were the wealthiest country on earth. We were the most progressive. You may not like that word, but if you like cell phones and you like the internet and you like computers and you like the fact that medicine these days can do things to save your life that 20 years ago they couldn't do, and I'm a good example of that. All of that came about through study, through progressive thought. You might want to think about that sometimes when you're screaming about being anti-progressive. And by the way, Antifa, to my understanding, is anti-fascist. If you don't know what fascist truly is, go to the library and look up things that went on in Germany in the 1930s and through 1945. That's fascism. Look at what Mussolini did in Italy. That's fascism. That's all that I don't even know how you guys say it. No, however you say it now, I forgot. I'm that way now, I'm old. I hope you have a good day. Please keep in mind, freedom is not free. The very least you can do is be an informed, factually informed voter. Don't vote for the people who are harming you. And don't be afraid to vote for a black woman. Kamala Harris, that's a lady that put herself through college, put herself through law school, passed the bar exam right off, got a job in the district attorney's office there, was a prosecuting attorney, a very successful one, so successful that she took that and became the district attorney. And she was so successful at that she took that and became the California Attorney General. And she was so successful at that she got elected to be the senator. And she was so good at that Joe Biden selected her to be his vice president. And she was a very effective and active vice president. Stop listening to Fox News and go read some stuff that actually happened, things that she actually did. Right now, this country could be in a wonderful place had we elected her president, because she would have surrounded herself with real, thoughtful professionals in her cabinet. Trump surrounded himself with total dumbasses. None of them, not one, is actually a professional. What they all are ass kissers, every one of them. I've never seen a cabinet go around telling the president how great he is. Oh, this thing you did right, and this thing you did, and this thing you did. Oh, that was so great, Mr. Trump. Horseshit, none of it was great. None of it was great. What he needs is somebody to say, no, that's a dumb idea. Do not attack Iran. You don't know what you're doing. We need to think through this. But he didn't have anybody there. He only wanted loyalists. He likes to have his ego stroked, and he demands a lot of stroking. That's how insecure he is. Just like most all narcissists. He's a lying son of a bitch. That's what he is. Be an informed voter. Thank you. I appreciate you listening to this. And I hope you enjoy my songs. I enjoy putting them out there. And I put out songs for everyone. Everyone. I don't care about your political persuasion. And when you're gullible, I'm not finding fault, and I'm not being mean. When you're gullible, I'm feeling sorry for you, and I want you to be able to do better. I live in a red state. I don't want the red states to be suffering like this anymore. There's no need in it. There really is no need in it. They've got you worried about they're going to take your kids out of school and take them and change their sex. Come on, get real. Think a minute. That ain't going to happen. And why would you elect a guy who stands there and tells you that kind of bullshit? Or that 72,000 prisoners in Venezuela, all killers and rapists, were let out and sent to the United States. That didn't happen. Not even one. It didn't happen. Or they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people who live there. When they do shit like that, do not vote for them. They're telling you, hey, I'm a dumbass. I'm a real dumbass. I am just the biggest dumbass you ever gonna see. And I need my ego stroked all the time. Vote for me. I won't do a goddamn thing that's good for you. So vote for me. That's exactly what he told every one of you. I wish you well. I want better for you. I want better for my family. I want better for everyone. And this business of a handful of folks hoarding all the wealth in our country is bullshit. They didn't earn it. They did not earn it. Thank you. Best of luck to all of you.